Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Too Many Hobbies. I'm your host, Brian Ellithorpe. I was on a podcast this past week called the Speak Your Mind podcast with Anwesh and Sans. So if you guys get a chance, go check that out. It isn't out right now. It should be out this week, if not the following week. Give them some love. They've cross-promoted on this podcast before. It was a fun podcast to do with those guys. We went over pretty much all the stuff that I do, hunting, fishing. We talked about a lot about working out, photography, videography, all that stuff. They're fans of the show, so give them some love. Go check it out, and hopefully it's up by the time that you guys listen to this. If you guys are new here, please make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Leave a review. Let me know what you guys think about it. Anything that I can improve on, I will. And check out Brian Ellithorpe Media on YouTube. All the Boomer videos are going up right now. All of his upland hunting videos. All the podcasts are being posted there. And yeah, I think that's about it. So we'll get into today's show. I really don't have a plan for the show, but I did want to talk about some of the new workout programs that I've been testing and kind of get into that. There's not really a whole lot going on right now. Wedding season is starting this weekend, so I will be doing my first wedding of the year this weekend. That's a photography gig, so I might talk about that here in the future. But yeah, I've just been really enjoying the workout process lately. I feel like there was a moment there when I was when we were in the pandemic that I just didn't really have like an end goal. I wasn't really working towards anything, and I just found myself kind of going through the motions a little bit, especially during duck season. It really kind of brings down my energy levels when we are hunting every weekend and not sleeping very much. So I just kind of needed to recharge my batteries and kind of come up with something to work towards, or just come up with another plan that kind of got me a little bit more amped up to be working out each day. And I think we're finally there after what seemed like months of me doing more or less like rehab movements, doing workouts, yoga, stretching, all that kind of stuff. A lot of core work to try and get myself kind of back to try and tackle some of this back pain that I've had. I mean, I've hurt myself probably 5 or 6 times in the exact same spot, and I'm pretty confident that that's a lack of core strength that, after I've hurt myself, I really kind of avoided. I didn't want to make it any worse, but I think that I was doing myself an injustice by not tackling the pain and strengthening my core and doing a lot of that stuff. So I think I'm starting to get there, and I think that taking the time to do that for a few months really did help. And while it wasn't the most glamorous workout sessions, it was definitely beneficial in the long run. So I'm glad that I did that. I went back to a program that I'd been doing for a while. I think I talked about this on a previous episode that I was doing. It was a workout 30 days out by Greg Caburso, and I did that twice. I did the 30 days twice, and I was still kind of dialing in my diet and stuff, so I didn't lose a ton of weight while I was doing it. I think I lost like 5 or 7 pounds, but I was feeling more toned. I was, I felt a little bit more solid, and I think that having a different program that was really high intensity stuff made me feel a little bit better, and I think that I started to loosen up and kind of get some conditioning back, which I was lacking in my previous workouts. I was just doing like extended low impact cardio, walking or like jogging. I was on the bike a little bit, and it just wasn't exactly what I needed to be doing. It was what I needed, but just didn't really get me excited to do it. There's a lot of days that I had to force myself to go down there. And once I start, then I'm fine. But it seems like, and I know a lot of people can relate to this, that you just kind of start going through the motions and it's a kind of a monotonous thing. And there's a lot of people like me that take this working out stuff habitually. If, it's more in your routine throughout the week. And I know when I have days that I don't work out, it feels weird, and I don't like not having a good workout when I go down there, or when I was going to the gym or whatever it was. You want to make the most of it. And I mean, I wasn't taking pre-workouts. I was really, the only supplement I was using was whey protein. I've been doing, for years now. I had an issue with a couple blood clots in my leg, and I'm not sure that supplements had anything to do with it. And I was really only taking a pre-workout at the time. But I just kind of like stayed away from everything just to see if that would make a difference. And, I don't know if it did or not, but I'm trying to go back to something to kind of give me a little bit more energy, a little bit more of a pump when I'm working out. And I was just drinking coffee, but I feel like coffee is either not enough stimulation, or sometimes, like, if I don't eat for a while before I drink coffee and go work out, I get all shaky, and it really has no nutritional value to it, where I feel like there are pre-workouts that have good nutritional additives and things like that actually help your muscles while you're working out, with aminos and even like some NO in there, and stuff that helps fuel your muscles while you're working out. But I don't like a ton of stimulation, and I don't know if anything that I was taking before I got the blood clots led to any of it. But I know that now there are a lot of non-stim pre-workouts, so I consulted one of my buddies that knows a lot about them, and I started taking the Granite Vasoblast, the non-stim version, in the rainbow candy. And the flavor of it's fine. I don't really care about the flavor for pre-workouts anyway. I've taken tons of different pre-workouts. I did the Jack 3D, all kinds of like Muscle Tech and all that kind of stuff. I really liked C4. I used that quite a bit. And I just wanted to find something that was beneficial, instead of me just being like, oh, I need a bunch of stimulation, I need a bunch of caffeine and all this other stuff just to go work out. But I think that even taking a non-stim supplement, it just kind of gets you in the mindset. Like, it takes me back to, when I would drink my pre-workout a half hour before I go to the gym, and then, the timer starts, essentially. Like, you get this timer in your head, and you're like, all right, well, I took my pre-workout, I have to go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. So now that I'm training in my own house, it's like I come home, let the dogs out, I walk around the yard with the dogs, drink pre-workout while I'm doing that, then go inside, and then I just slowly work my way down there. But I was thinking about this the other day. It's kind of funny that, if I went down to work out and I had a half-ass workout and I stopped halfway through, like, I don't really have anything tied to it. But like, if you take a pre-workout, you kind of like want to get the most out of your workout, not even just because like you paid for the pre-workout, but like you don't want to like have a serving of it go to waste, is what I kind of feel like. There's a lot of mentality towards that. Like, I don't want to waste this pre-workout. So hopefully that kind of helps me get back to my training and stuff. But after I did the 30 days out workout, I did I started looking into like different types of intermittent fasting and came across the anabolic fasting from Gregory, and I know I had a couple buddies that did a lot of Gregory workouts and got into uh, the anabolic fasting and stuff like that. So I reached out to them. I was talking to them about those, and I have a lot of the gear in my house that I can use for the workouts that he creates on his site. And I started doing, can't remember what the first one that I tried was, but it was a little too long for what I don't like to be more than like an hour 10 minutes. So I was trying to find something that kind of fell into that time frame. And so I started doing the 40-day transformation workout, which is his Get Stacked 38 and Get Stacked 39. And right now I'm doing the Get Stacked 38, and I'm probably like 3 weeks into anabolic fasting. And I like doing an intermittent fasting diet when it starts to get warm out. My body seems to adapt to that really well. But it seems like the anabolic the fasting doesn't really sit well during the winter time. I think I gain a little bit of weight doing it. I don't know what the reasoning behind any of that would be, but that's just something that I've noticed with my body over the last 6 or 7 years that I've done intermittent fasting. So the anabolic fasting I really like, just because I feel like when you do intermittent fasting and you want to get your meals in your 8-hour time frame, I feel like I eat too much, and there's really no structure to it. Like, you can find structured intermittent fasting workouts or diet plans depending on what your goals are, but I just never really found anything that I liked. And I like that the anabolic fasting revolves around 2 big meals and then like supplemental snacks in between the 2 meals, and then right before you go to bed, or right before or right after your second big meal. I like that a little bit better just because I can plan for 2 big meals better. And when I'm working, I don't really want to just be sitting there eating all the time or thinking about eating. And even on the weekends, I really only eat like twice on the weekends, just because there's always stuff that I'm doing. So the anabolic fasting, I feel like, really fits in well. Then you have like a cheat meal Friday and Saturday. I like that because on Friday we tend to order food anyway because we've been cooking all week. And then Saturday I'm not like tied down to having to come up with another meal. I can just eat kind of whatever. I think that the cheat meals definitely help you stick to a work or a diet plan. And for me, this anabolic fasting diet plan or meal plan is really working well for me. I really like it. I've switched out a lot of what I was having carbs. I was eating rice with a lot of my stuff, and I've switched it out for cauliflower rice. And it's not like the most glamorous thing. It doesn't taste, I like the taste of rice a lot better than the cauliflower rice, but it's working and I like it. And I'm finding meals that I can meal prep with to use the cauliflower rice that have worked out really well. I came up with this like cheeseburger bake using cauliflower rice, and it just kind of tastes like a cheeseburger, and using ground turkey. And I really liked that. I did that for a couple weeks, and I switched it up to this it's kind of the same thing as cauliflower rice, ground turkey, but it was more of like a bake with like it had like tomato paste and whipped heavy cream, and it's more of like I don't even really know how to describe it, but it tasted a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't even remember what it was called, to be honest, but mixing in some cauliflower rice, and for like a serving of that, it's only like 2 or 3 grams of carbs, where regular rice is like 45 grams for a cup, or a serving, half a cup cooked. It might be 60. I don't know, but it was a lot. and my body does not respond well to carbs if I'm trying to like lean out. So I feel like it's put me in a better mindset, as well as having a different type of workout. This Get Stacked program, I started back with deadlifts. The Monday workout is a max. You work up to a max deadlift. And I didn't want to go too crazy, so the first week I worked up to 455. And I think that was the first time in a really long time that I've deadlifted conventional, and not only conventional, but like with no pain. I worked up to, and like I was sore after like the next couple days, but during the actual workout, like I just didn't feel like anything was like hindered. I didn't feel like I was hitching on anything. Where when I was doing like I was doing a modified sumo, which was kind of a closer stance sumo. I just feel like my hips didn't like it. I liked how I felt. Like I feel like with the sumo type stance, I get a better bar path because I can sit back a little bit more. But I'm just so much stronger with a conventional deadlift. Like 455 flew like nothing. The second week, or last week, I guess, I worked up to 500. That was the first time I pulled 500 in probably a year and some change. And it just felt great. Like I felt solid. I still have to tweak my conventional just a little bit just because my belt slides when I bend down. And I can't go too tight on my belt or else I can't reach the bar. So I just need to kind of figure out my stance and everything, working back into conventional, just because when I used to do it, I think I was a little bit narrower of a stance, but I don't want to go too narrow. I just feel like I work better with a conventional pull. So I'm working on that. I did a lot of rack pull for like 3 or 4 months before I started deadlifting from the floor again, and I think that definitely helped. I was doing it without a belt. That was helping with my core strength and my balance, my balance and everything. So I think that really helped, and I'm just working through this program. I really like it. It's a little bit more high energy than like I'm used to with like a power workout, and I think that the different moves that we're doing in the program just help mix it up. I think there's been a lot of new exercises and movements that I'm doing now that kind of keep it interesting. And the nice thing is like this is Get Stacked 38 and 39, which mean that I can go back even further, and I'm sure that they all are pretty much structured the same. I haven't looked at many of the previous ones, but if it's about the same, I could go through 39 different workouts, and if I do, even if I think they're around like a 4-week setup where like it'll tell you week 1 do a deadlift max from the floor, or week 2 and 3 do deficit pulls, back to week 4 do max from the floor, and it's all different stuff like that for like your big days, so like legs, chest, deadlift. But I'm sure that it goes back and does similar things just with different exercises. And I don't know, I never really looked into the Gregory stuff too much. I've not been opposed to anything that he does. I think that his powerlifting meets look great. The gym that he runs looks awesome, and I think he's switching to a new gym actually. And he's right there, I think, just outside Columbus. But either way, it's been one of those things where I feel like the spark has been reignited, just because I'm doing something different. And I'm liking the results. I feel like I'm targeting different muscles that I've abandoned for a while, but I also feel like I worked on things that I needed to do to be able to get to this point. And it's been fun. I think that, it's going to be something that I stick with for a while, and I haven't felt like the last 2 weeks that I've really gotten into a rut or anything. Like I get off work and the pre-workout helps, and I think I'm just kind of starting to dial it in a little bit better back to what I'm used to. And it's been a while since I really felt like that was that was happening. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep plugging away at that. I really want to keep working on my deadlift, and I think that the 50-pound jump in 1 week, I'm not gonna do that this week. I'm not gonna jump up to 550, but I'll probably do a deficit this week and just see how that goes, and do that for reps as opposed to a max. But I think maybe the following week I'll move up to like 510 and just kind of keep jumping up and see where it goes from there. I'm gonna be limited with what I've got until I'm gonna try to get another set of the 45-pound plates that I bought at Dick's Sporting Goods, because they have them there for like $55 or $60 a piece, and they're brand new. They're the size of 35s, which I really like, because then when I'm loading up plates on the ground, it's a lot easier to slide them on if I have regular size 45s on there, and I can slip on these 35 size 45-pound plates. So I'm going to try and get another set of those, and I think that'll bring me up to like 675 that I potentially have. I don't even know if I can fit, because I have bumper plates too. I have a 35 and a 10 for bumper plates, well, set of 35 and 10 that I use, but they're so wide. Like they take up as much room as like 345s. So I'm going to try to find a way to get around that. Whether I just buy 4 more plates or I get these 2 and just kind of work with what I've got, I don't know. We'll figure it out one way or another. But the Texas bar that I have, I think it's Ohio Power Bar from Texas, and that's working out pretty. Oh no, it's a Rogue bar. Yeah, it's a Rogue. But either way, I like that bar. It works for what I've got, and yeah, we're talking about working on our house, and the way that it's gonna plan out is that we're gonna pretty much redo the entire house, but the amount of money that we're spending on it, we're going to end up losing the basement. So I will lose the gym and the basement, but I'm going to be relocating it to a room in the garage that we're going to be adding. So I'm pretty stoked for that, just because I'll be able to kind of redo a whole floor to set it up with like plywood and stuff like that. The problem with the basement right now is that I've got the half-inch foam floor down there, but the basement's old and it's settled, and there's cracks down there, so you get like moisture under the foam pads, and I have to like air it out, put a fan down there and stuff. So I'm looking forward to being able to build like a platform for deadlift and stuff. And the other thing that I have an issue with is my basement ceiling is only like 6.5 foot tall, or 7 foot maybe, and I can't do anything overhead or press standing. So I'm looking forward to having a place that I can do some overhead type stuff, and this space should be able to provide that, but I don't even think it's going to be a really long time before that gets done. So we're just going to keep plugging along in the basement, and I'm sure that while that stuff's happening, I'll probably get back to a commercial gym for a few months, just so I can keep the ball rolling. But I'm excited to come up with a nice setup. I don't know if I'm gonna wall it off or not to keep it like its own thing, but it's gonna have a garage door that goes up. So like in the summer, I'll be able to open it and like work out with the door open, which will be pretty cool. I'll insulate it. I'll put I think I'm gonna put like a propane garage heater in there, and that should keep it good enough. The nice thing about the basement is that it's kind of temperature regulated. It stays about 60, 65 degrees down there all the time. And so that's super useful for what I've got now, but all things have to change. So we'll see what comes with that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to ramble about how I feel about these new workouts and stuff. And, I really do think that a lot of new ideas and workouts and movements and pre-workout, all that kind of stuff adds up to, kind of reignite that spark within you for whatever it is that you're doing. So for me, it's with this weightlifting stuff, with just fitness in general, starting to kind of dial it in. And yeah, I mean, like right now the fishing isn't anything spectacular. I still have to fix my big boat anyway. I just did my first carb job today on my 20 horse motor for my little boat, and that thing was so plugged up. I have no idea how it even ran, but now it's running great. I'll be able to catch some walleye on the river, and yeah, so that stuff will be going on. There'll be videos of that coming up, and I'm going to do some review videos from some of my duck hunting gear throughout the year, just to put some content up while I'm still putting up upland hunting videos. And you guys will have to stay tuned for the next episode. I think we're going to talk about Boomer's competition that we did, and the video for that should be going up in a couple weeks as well. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys can do me a favor, and like I said at the beginning, subscribe to Brian Althorpe Media and leave us a review on this show. Share it with your friends. I appreciate you guys tuning in to this episode, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.